Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thanks to CIBAFI for giving me this opportunity to participate. I have a different views on what we're being discussed, and I've been actually talking about this for the last 6 or 7 years. I believe that the issue is much bigger than digitalization and using technology. But as I have been saying, and the world has been saying, and if you look at the stock market in the US and the top 3, 4, or even 5 companies and the trillions of dollars of valuation, you will see that the 4th industrial revolution and the technology is changing the world. And the only way for Islamic finance ecosystem to understand what is happening and actually participate in what is happening, that's really the savior for the next phase. The report touched on technology and digitalization all over the report, and also mentioned that economic growth or economic activities is the #1 area where you need to actually execute on or see to see the Islamic finance industry moving ahead. I believe this is true, and I believe also that the technology will allow this, but we cannot look at the technology as a tool any longer, because it is really a huge revolution that is happening worldwide, and we need to realize that. If you look at this is a quote from Sundar Pichai. He's the CEO of Google. He said something really very interesting. One of these most important technologies that's happening in the world is the artificial intelligence. And it's actually the umbrella of a huge number of technologies. And he said that AI is one of the most profound things we are working on as humanity. It is more profound than fire and electricity or any of the other bigger things we have worked on. It has tremendous positive sides to it, but also, of course, it has real negative consequences. Until we realize, and this person is running one of the largest technology companies in the world, and his company is worth trillions of dollars. So unless we realize that the meaning of that statement and what we are living in, we actually will not be able to take to the next phase Islamic finance. Islamic finance does not grow by imitating other conventional finance products. Conventional finance the failures of the conventional system and the financial products is what caused fintechs and this technology revolution to actually take over the finance industry. So going back in years and trying to recreate these conventional products in Islam is the biggest mistake we can make. The digital finance is basically you taking all these technologies, that what we call the 4IR or the 4th industrial revolution technologies, and we utilize them to create the next phase. We look at the infrastructure technologies like the cloud, the mobile, the blockchain, and the Internet of Things. Things that we could not reach or include in the past, we can actually reach. The villages in very rural areas in the Islamic world, we can actually reach it now without needing the old infrastructure of putting wires in the ground, and etc. Using technologies like intelligence technologies, like artificial intelligence technologies, and utilizing the data as an asset, everything has to be driven by the data, is actually what allow us to compete. And of course, there's a lot of other technologies. Some say 9, some say 16, but there's a huge number of technologies that are playing. What is this revolution actually doing? This revolution basically dematerialization of the whole world. What does that mean? Every financial service, if you look at the financial services, we're actually taking the materialization of the coins, the physical assets and all that, and we are digitalizing these assets. I believe this week, a hot topic in the US is the digital dollar and what they got to do about the digital dollar. And the Fed just started doing the research on that area. We also doing demonetization. Basically, the demonetization is another very important pillar of this revolution. We are democratizing everything. That means basically we're taking the middleman from anywhere. All those institutions that used to control things are actually being removed, and we are reaching one-to-one point, and this all causing the empowerment of the individuals. So basically, when we talk about how the individual can contribute into our economies, we're actually this revolution empower them with the great technologies. If you look at the GIBS findings, they talked about customer centricity. The top customer concerns are the top issue. When they looked at the risk, cybersecurity and information technology risks, top factors impacting the growth are innovations and information technology. So definitely the finding is there, but I hope that we don't look at it in a fragmented way and actually see the big picture and understand the big picture, because it's very critical for us. Of course, this will have a huge impact in so many areas. I'm not going to go through. My peers actually talked about a lot of these issues, but one of the most important, one of them is the economic inclusion. We talked about the alternative finance, the social finance, the sustainable finance that Dr. Azmi talked about. All these are very, very important possibilities from this revolution. Then we talk about the ecosystem and how we can actually look at this ecosystem by its traditional organization, from Islamic banks, Islamic capital market, takaful, etc., to the newcomers from the fintechs, the neo banks, the big techs, and sorry.
In 1 minute, Mr. Kateeb, please. We have.
Yeah, I'm summarizing. So basically, it's a change to the business model, the operational model, and the customer experience. We need entrepreneurs, we need investments, we need support structure. And the most important thing that works for us in the Islamic countries is the customers. We have a huge population. It's a young population. It actually technology savvy population. We have a lot of brains in the Islamic population. So things we need to do, I think my peers talked about a lot of these things, but the most important, I'll focus on the technology. We need to participate in the big data and the artificial intelligence race. Now you see China, US, and Russia are playing roles in this, but none of the Islamic countries are actually taking it. We need to look at the data as in an innovative way and use the data, and we need to strengthen the Islamic financial ecosystem, of course, in addition, we need to do the financial inclusion, the sustainable social, and all this only happens by partnership. And it has been mentioned that the takaful segment is not playing its role in the ecosystem, and we need to energize that. That's very, very quick look at what I think where we are and what happened with this fourth industrial revolution, and how can actually it change the whole formula for the Islamic economy.